Newton's three laws. The first law, law of inertia. The second law, force equals mass times acceleration. And the third law, every force has a counterforce. But first, we have to have some background information.
In order to understand Newton's three laws, you have to understand how gravity works.
Gravity, gravity, gravity.
For example, what's keeping me on the ground is gravity. Without gravity, I'd be up in the air. Newton first discovered gravity by watching an apple fall from a tree.
Hey! Get my apple! To find out if I get my apple back, you'll have to wait till later in the show.
Newton has three laws.
Whoa there! The Newton laws are way too insane for this kind of attitude. Let's pump up the party. Yeah. Okay, so the first Newton law is that an object in motion stays in motion until affected by an outside unbalanced force. Thank you. Okay, and the other part of the first law is that an object at rest stays at rest until put into motion by an outside force. Thank you. Thank you. The second law is the more force applied to an object, the more it'll accelerate. So I get my two awesome people helper dudes here. And I poke him, but I push Miriam. Miriam went further because I applied more force. Everyone give her a round of applause. Newton's third law is that every force has a counterforce. So if me and Emma were to push off on each other, we both go backwards because every force has an equal and opposite force. Yeah. So now let's go outside and see how these laws apply in your everyday life. Remember, safety first. We are expressing law of inertia because we are in motion until we hit the curb, which is the unbalanced outside force. Emma was in motion and stayed in motion when she hit the curb. On the other hand, I hit the curb and I fell. This is an example of Newton's second law, which is force equals mass times acceleration. So this tennis ball is really light compared to this bowling ball. So if I were to throw this tennis ball, it goes pretty far. But if you were to throw this bowling ball, it doesn't go as far because it's easier to apply more force to the tennis ball, so it accelerates further. Now we're gonna go get this.
This is an example of Newton's first law. Dana was at the side of the pool until Emma pulled her in. This is also an example of Newton's third law. Emma jumped onto the boogie board while the boogie board went backwards and Emma went forwards.
We are going to meet our way cool scientist, my swim coach. Swimming, what we do here at the pool, incorporates actually one of Newton's first laws of inertia, and that is us moving in a constant force until we hit the wall. So, for example, if we were going to swim 25 yards of the pool, we would start off at one end, us being the moving force, and when we hit the wall, that's the solid force, and that's where we stop.
Did you know? We found a couple interesting facts about Isaac Newton. Here are a few.
Isaac Newton was knighted for all his discoveries.
And also, Isaac Newton was the first person to discover gravity. Gravity is what's keeping me on this stool. Gravity has to do with everything of Newton's laws because it keeps you on the ground so you don't float up into space.
There's a camera right there. There's a pretty camera there. I like the camera.
Do you like that camera?
Oh, camera! Oh my god.